You see someone succeed 3 times in a row and assume they're on fire. You watch them make 2 free throws and suddenly believe the third one is more likely to go in. You hit a winning streak at poker and convince yourself you've found your rhythm. Your brain sees a pattern in random success and creates a story about momentum. But the dice don't remember your last roll. The coin doesn't care that it landed heads twice. And your brain's insistence that streaks means something is costing you money and bad decisions. This happens every time you witness consecutive wins. You trust the hot trader who just picked 5 winners. You bet more when you're winning. You pull a slot machine because the one next to it just paid out. You assume the basketball player who made 3 shots has a better chance on the 4th. Your brain can't accept that independent events stay independent. It sees success stacking up and invents reasons why success should continue. You've turned randomness into skill, luck into momentum, coincidence into certainty. This is called the hot hand fallacy. Studies show over 90% of people believe past success increases the probability of future success in random events. Your brain evolved to find patterns that predict the future. See berries in this area 3 times and return to this area. Watch the successful hunter and copy their technique. Your ancestors survived by detecting patterns and assuming they'd continue. So your mind treats streaks as signals. It sees repeated outcomes and expects repetition to persist. Your neurons can't tell the difference between skill-based patterns and random clustering. Your brain thinks streaks reveal hidden momentum, but it's actually seeing noise and calling it a signal. Here's how this destroys your judgment without you noticing. You're investing in a fund manager picks 3 winning stocks in a row. Your brain screams hot hand. This person has the touch. They're in the zone. So you invest heavy. You ignore the base rates. You forget that picking 3 winners out of hundreds of attempts is mathematically expected. You're betting on their 4th pick like it has better odds than their first. But each pick is an independent event with the same underlying probability. The fund manager didn't change. Your perception did. You just invested your money in a story about momentum that doesn't exist. Or you're on a dating app and match with 3 interesting people in one day. Your brain tells you you're hot right now. You've got the magic. So you swipe more aggressively. You send more messages. You expect the streak to continue. But the matches were random. The algorithm didn't detect your momentum. The other users don't know you, just matched with 3 people. You're reacting like you have hot hands in a system that doesn't care about your recent history. You've confused a random cluster with a trend line. Your behavior changes based on a pattern that was always meaningless. And here's what nobody tells you about this. Every random sequence produces streaks that look non-random. But your brain can't accept that randomness creates clusters. The fallacy doesn't just make you trust streaks. It creates a cascade where you double down on luck and withdraw from skill. You're winning at blackjack. You bet bigger. You feel invincible. So you ignore basic strategy because you're hot. The increased bets and bad decisions drain your money faster. But you remember the hot streak, not the crash that followed. Next time you win twice, you trust the feeling again. You'd be trapped in a loop where you throw good money after random wins while attributing your inevitable losses to the streak ending instead of probability returning to normal. This isn't your imagination. The research backs this up. Most people think this is about confidence or positive thinking, so they defend the feeling as motivational or performance-enhancing. But that's like defending a map with made-up roads because it makes you feel like you know where you're going. The real issue isn't whether the feeling helps. It's that you're making predictions based on events that don't predict anything. A basketball player who makes 3 shots doesn't have better odds on the 4th. The probability of each shot is determined by their skill level, which doesn't change based on recent makes. You're confusing independent trials with conditional probability. This fallacy survives because streaks feel too perfect to be random, and admitting they read just luck feels depressing. Plus, believing in hot hands lets you feel control over randomness. And if you stop trusting streaks, you'd have to accept that most outcomes are more random than you want to believe. That success often comes from trying repeatedly, not from catching lightning. Your brain would rather believe in momentum than face the uncomfortable reality that the universe doesn't reward hot streaks. It just produces them randomly. Stay with me, because what comes next matters more. You're not detecting patterns. You're creating patterns from random noise. Someone makes 5 free throws in a row, and you're rewatching their 6th shot, thinking it has momentum behind it. But that 6th shot has the exact same probability as their first. Their hands didn't get hotter. The basket didn't get bigger. The laws of physics didn't change. Your brain just took a random cluster and built a narrative around it. Every time you trust a hot hand, you're betting on a story instead of math. And the story always sounds more convincing than the statistics. That's why casinos are profitable and why you keep losing money on patterns that don't exist. The moment you see streaks as random clustering instead of meaningful momentum, everything shifts. The trader with 3 wins didn't get better at picking stocks. They got lucky 3 times. The person who matched with 3 people didn't become more attractive. 3 events happened. Your brain is the one adding the momentum. The interpretation is yours. The pattern is noise, and every decision you make based on that noise is a decision against probability. So the next time you see someone succeed 3 times in a row, and your brain whispers they on fire, you'll know what's really happening. Your mind is seeing random clustering and inventing momentum. But now you can catch it. You can ask if these events are actually related, or if you're rewatching independent trials that happen to cluster. That pause is everything. You're not trying to never notice streaks. You're just recognizing when your pattern-seeking mind is creating connections that don't exist. You started this video thinking streaks reveal skill or momentum. Now you know your brain can't tell the difference between random clusters and actual patterns. That's not a small shift. That's understanding why you lose money trusting hot hands. Watch yourself this week. Notice when you trust someone or something more because they succeeded recently. Catch that feeling? Question it. You'll see this everywhere. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one.